Hello, my beautiful rainbow people. Welcome back to the Potsmoker's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Potsmoker's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority. It comes from the Ketuvim, or Old Testament, of the Bible. I use the King James Version of the Bible to put together the prophecy of Israel from the scattered testimony of the various Old Testament prophets. So, if you want to check my work, use King James. Now, when I first put together the prophecy of Israel, I found contained within it a set of instructions that I was uniquely qualified to undertake. So I did. And as the final event that I am supposed to stage in order to fulfill prophecy, I am to publish peace without the use of money. And so I am reading to you from the unpublished manuscripts that I've written, the Potsmoker's Bible and the Book of Zion, here on YouTube and social media. Today I'm going to read to you from the 27th chapter of the Potsmoker's Bible. It contains the 24th and final chapter of the Book of Zion. It's called In the Last Days. I'm going to take up where I left off last time. It goes like this. And you should all be damned glad for it too. Jesus can't save you. But he had made you part of the family. Ishmael got a shitty deal. But that had to be so that Islam could become his legacy. Would you take from him your lineage? In Israel, you most of all should humble yourselves before the gray. You rejected the priesthood. You rejected God. You forced the entire history that we endured on us because you wanted to be just like everyone else. So, my wayward brothers, be glad the gray didn't treat you like you've treated each other. Because if they had, we would, all of us, human animals and plants, be on a death descent into a hellish future that none of us can survive. If the gray were like us humans, they would have simply gone Hollywood on us. We wouldn't stand a chance against them. So be very glad the gray are better than we are. Because not only will the entire family of Abraham now be the salvation of life on earth, we will be joined to every living human that has the will to survive and the intelligence to know that our ancient alien gods are our best hope for survival. The family of Abraham was given the covenant of salvation for the entire planet of Earth. That's why we were created, to ensure the survival of all life on this planet. Which brings us to Isaiah 56:5. Even to them will I give my house, and within my walls a place, and a name better than of sons and daughters. I will give them an everlasting name that shall not be cut off. So the Gray are telling us, Jews, that everyone, Jew and non-Jew, are to be saved. Abraham's children, the entire family, is charged with saving everyone else who chooses to be saved. We will all be given an equal place in Zion and the society of the Gray. Even eunuchs and infidels are to be saved. The arks in the mountains of the world will be open to all humans. No one who is willing to abide by intergalactic law will be exempt. Our sons and daughters and their sons and daughters will be saved. No one will be turned away, but all must take part in the covenant, the new covenant, the one that will give us new names everlasting names that won't be cut off. This covenant is our entry into the intergalactic society. We agree to abide by the universal law. We agree to give up our use of money and war. We adopt the social order of the universe, and we become a united planet, the planet Zion. Zion is our new name. Interplanetary rule is the new covenant. Which brings us to Isaiah 56:6. Also the sons of the strangers that join themselves to the Lord to serve him, and to love the name of the Lord, to be his servants, every one that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it, and taketh hold of my covenant. This specifies that the covenant of Abraham still stands. Sabbath is still a thing. It always will be. It's a covenant of perpetual agreement. As long as we keep the Sabbath and don't corrupt it or change it, we are protected by it, just as the new recruits are. The new recruits are those who convert to Zion. They too must honor the Sabbath. They too are part of this covenant. This refers to Zionite conversion to the priesthood. We are the sons and daughters of the strangers who seek to serve God on high. We will take a hold of the ancient covenant and institute our own Sabbath. Our Sabbath will be the ancient Sabbath, a party to celebrate the threefold God. We will do the sacrifice as in ancient times. To show the gray, we are not polluted. We follow the ancient covenant as directed. In modern terms, the sacrifice of one animal can provide stem cells to create enough meat to feed the population of the entire planet. Science can use the genetic material to create non-living flesh that doesn't require inhumane or unviable methods. To maintain vital nutrients, live samples must be maintained, so a simple sacrifice can feed us all. And who is more human than a priest? If a living being must be sacrificed, only a priest should bear that burden. Because to a Zionite, priests, all living beings are sentient and considered a fellow living soul. To take a life is to violate the highest law. Do no harm. So, if harm must be done for health reasons, then the priest, who is himself a servant of life, should bear that sin, and with love and reverence for all, do what must be done, and live with the burden of it. We will do this necessary evil. It is our job to serve, to do the things that must be done for the good of all. That is what we become when we do drugs. Priests who know firsthand the true nature of life and reality. And we are made to serve. The drugs make us that way, to know what is needed, and to be willing and able to do the hard things for others, even the necessary evil. This is the covenant of Zion, to be the servants of both the threefold God and humanity. In return, we get to do what we love more than anything else, to do our drugs. And in the name of our threefold God, give him drugs. We gladly serve both God and humanity, spirit and life. That is who we strangers who join ourselves to God are. We are the servants of the threefold God that is our Zionite covenant. Which brings us to Isaiah 56:7. Even them will I bring to my holy mountain, and make them joyful in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and their sacrifices shall be accepted on mine altar, for my house shall be called a house of prayer for all people. This is the passage that set me on the 5-year course of study into all known religions, or I should say religious texts. I literally read and studied every sacred practice on earth, and it totally changed me. It opened up so much spiritual knowledge. If you say you love God and have only read one sacred text from one religion, you are a fool. Only by reading all of them can you get the true sense of the wonder of life. Try it. This passage is an invitation to read all sacred texts. Only when all religious people have unity in God will the struggle of faith end. Each sacred text from all established religions has a unique set of rituals and an understanding of their doctrines. Combined, these create a much deeper understanding of God, spiritual matters, and our mutual fate. We must combine the knowledge of all religious doctrines to understand the deeper truth hidden by the fragmentation of information. Only then will we all realize that there is only one true ancient God, the aliens. This knowledge will unite the religions, and we will truly have one house of prayer for all people. In the future, the Temple of Zion will be the seat of authority in interplanetary politics. The temple at Jerusalem will be the holy temple of prayer. Each nation will have its own temple, each one being part of the single temple, the house of prayer for all people. The Zionite priests gather to camp. We go on strike from our jobs. We demand a true hearing concerning the laws against our way of life. We call upon the gray as priests. We pledge ourselves to serve the gray as God and humanity. We are invited, we are visited, and are found innocent, and given Zion as our recompense. We are given the mountain. When that happens, our joy will be so great. We will build the Council of Elders, a house as beautiful as our joy. And boy, a party it's going to be. We will offer our burnt offerings every time we smoke a bowl. We will serve as priests. We will offer up our lives in service to all through the temple. We will joyfully work for God on high, maintaining the house of prayer for all people. Isaiah 56:8. The Lord God which gathereth the outcasts of Israel saith, Yet will I gather others to him besides those that are gathered to him. This verse is a reminder to both Israel and Ishmael. The gray have chosen others besides the blooded Jews, and if either house of Abraham had been acceptable to God, Zion would not be necessary. Zion represents all others who are gathered to Abraham. Even as I have been gathered to Abraham, so both of the families of Abraham are reminded that others, not of the blood, will be saved through Abraham, but not by the blooded Jews. The gray chose my people to do the work intended for Israel, gathering them unto Abraham also. The entire reason Abraham's children were separated from others was to create a unique priesthood, independent of the nations, not subject to primitive human nature, a family of priests to save humanity for the duration of the isolation. The family of Abraham was intended to serve humanity. And there I'm going to end for the day. May the gray watch over you, guide you, protect you, and keep you from all harm. May they teach you right from wrong, and may you be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light the unicorn way. Find your joy and pursue it, and make that your field choice when we get to Camp Zion. If you use drugs, stay happy and high. You have every right and reason to. You are a priest of the Most High God of Israel. Believe me, I know. I wrote 2 books about it. My name is Zion. I love you way too much to ever say goodbye. So I'm going to say later now.